Thario's Kitchen, which was formerly Borello's, formerly the Santa's Kitchen from days of yore. And we just decided to start the podcast here. So this is Dave, and I'm sitting here with Amboy.
Hi. Good afternoon, Mario.
How's your day going?
Very good, very good. I'm excited to be here with Mario.
he's tried to introduce Mario now like twice. He says, let's do the show. Let's introduce the guests. People won't know who we're sitting with. Well, they didn't actually know we were sitting with anybody until you mentioned that we're here with Mario
Rios, and
you and Thais, your wife, are now the new co-owners of Thario's Kitchen, and it's where Borello's used to be. And so we decided to come out here and see what you guys are up to, because a lot of carpinteria folks are really kind of interested to hear what you guys are up to. And unfortunately, Philip just came, and he'll come back. He'll bring us some more food. But we're here, Amboy and I, and we're sitting with Mario, and your wife Thais is back in the kitchen right now, right?
She's the chef.
And she's the chef, and she's brought us some food, and she'll come back out later, and we'll talk to her. But in the meantime, we thought we would come out and spend a little time here today and find out exactly what's happening here at Thario's Kitchen.
Well, I was telling you earlier, so we're from LA. We ran into the business on the internet.
We're all from LA.
You guys are hilarious. It's like you so want to start the show that you're like ready to launch into your bio right now, like at the top of the show, like, because that's the way radio shows do. Is like they have a guest and they say, "Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching the show or listening to the show or whatever. I'm here with my guest so and so. Tell me all about yourself." And that's how they start the show. And instead, what I want to do is I'm here to just eat some food and hang out. And I mean, this is a silly little podcast. This isn't like a show with
Without the pressure.
Exactly. So poor Amboy wanted to introduce Mario right away and get the show started. And now as soon as Mario starts talking, he's like, "I've only got a minute to tell you all about me, and the pressure's on, and I got to give you my bio, right?" We'll get to that.
Relax.
We'll get to that. Everybody just needs to just chill out and relax a little bit. And we're just here to have some fun at Thario's Kitchen. What do you say about that?
Yes, we're going to relax. A quick question. How did you get the name?
So
That's a good question. Yeah.
So, we initially we were going to keep the name Borello's. But, of course, legal purposes, we had to change. We weren't intended of a name. So when we finally thought about a name, it took us about a month. We had friends, families, throw different types of names into mind. Everything we tried we Googled it. It was already gone. It was already taken. And, I had thought about, Thario's, basically putting my wife's name, Thais, Tha, and then Rio for Mario. Thario's Kitchen is how it was put together. And, we still weren't feeling it yet. But towards the end, we're, this is a good combo. It's us. And
it's a good name. It's catchy.
Yeah, it's catchy. It's still sounded European, Italian a little bit.
So now, what's the sort of the message that you're trying to send with your menu? I mean, are you a particular style of food? Are you trying to cater to a certain audience? What can we expect at Thario's Kitchen as far as the cuisine is concerned?
Well, we're based on it's family food. Homemade food. It's made to the order. We're not a McDonald's. We're not a fast food. You're not gonna get your food in 5 minutes. It's if you gotta wait a little bit, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth the wait. People usually, when they might take a little patient once they see it, they're like, okay, now we know why it took a little moment, And usually now we're actually working faster now that we've gotten, the hang of things and stuff like this. So now it's moving a lot faster. Of course, the lasagna is 30 minutes.
Right, exactly. You can't rush.
You can't rush the lasagna.
You can't rush the lasagna, and we don't want you to. So
Yeah.
that's fine. Now, you guys have been open since when? April of this year?
May.
Good job. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. It's been word of mouth pretty much.
Really?
So
It's a
Okay.
hot location.
I tell you what. I'm going to give you this microphone.
All right. I'm hogging the mic.
I'm going to take this one here. See, this is me, and people are hearing me like adjusting the equipment. Sorry about that, folks. And we'll put this mic back over when Thais gets here. Whatever. In the meantime, we should both have a microphone. Okay. Well, and we have food here on the table.
Yeah.
And Philip, hi Philip, how you doing?
How are you?
Good to see you, man. Thanks for bringing us food.
Welcome. Bon appétit.
What did you bring us just now? Here, talking to this microphone here and tell us all what you brought. Actually, let's. Okay, go ahead now.
So here you have a little assortment of like little canapé, petit four, with tapenade. Queca is the Italian pico de gallo. Like tomato, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of parsley. And here you have a mix of pesto and ricotta with pignoli.
Delicious.
So here we brought you a pizza, which is called the cortile, which has.
Favorite, actually. That's why I brought it.
And this one has meatballs. It has a little bit of onions.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Of course, some cheese and a little bit of basil on top. Why here you have a di pepe salad, which is made with roasted tomatoes, with arugula salad, and shaved parmesan on top, with a little bit of pepper.
Wow, delicious! Roasted tomatoes.
And excellent job of presentation, by the way, Philippe. Now you were the maitre d' here.
I'm not doing the presentation. Like the kitchen.
You can bend down and talk into the microphone there. You're the maitre d', Philip.
Yes, I am.
I could tell from your voice that you're the maitre d'.
Thank you.
And you have done an excellent job of presentation. And I actually only regret the fact that you haven't been able to sit here and do the show with us and present each dish right before we sample it, unfortunately. But you've been running around, working very hard, bringing us food that we'll start sampling here in a little bit, and we'll all have to remember exactly what you said we were going to be experiencing while you're gone. So thank you for your excellent presentation.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
So this is all a huge spread, and we've started the show, and so we might as well sample some of it while we're here. You know, that's like
I don't even know where to start.
The whole reason that we're here. So I'm
going for the salad.
I'm going to take a bite of the salad here. Now, describe the salad once again for us.
Arugula. It's got roasted tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then the Parmigiano cheese.
And the tomatoes look so fresh, and there's just a little glisten of little oil, I assume, and yeah, okay.
What kind of dressing? Just olive oil?
It's a balsamic. It's a vinaigrette type of style, and we make it ourselves too as well.
Wow, very good.
So fresh. And there's nothing like a fresh tomato with a little bit of olive oil and balsamic vinegar. That's just like heaven in your mouth.
Yeah.
And so that's very refreshing, and it's got a little Parmesan you said on it.
Parmigiano cheese. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful starter salad, and just simplicity, and it's summertime.
Correct.
You know, so there you go.
Tell us about the pizza.
The
pizza.
Let's dig into the pizza.
Tell me
here.
what about the flour and the process of how you make.
So we have a mother dough.
We
have a mother dough.
That
my wife's been using for a while. So from that we feed it. And then eventually from that we make our dough.
Oh my God, this wine.
For the pizza, we make our dough for our bread from that mother dough. And it's the whole process, you know. We let it fermentize. So
you let the flour fermentize.
Yeah.
I see. So you're always adding to it and
correct.
Right, and keep changing it. Wow, that's fascinating.
So for those people who don't understand exactly what a mother dough is, so you take at the end of the day. You take a little bit of the dough that's got the sort of the yeast and the biological material in it, and you save it and you put it into the new dough, and every day that dough just carries down for like another generation.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
So how old is your mother dough?
Well, it's not that old because we just started. Maybe it's been about a year or so. And stuff. You know, we brought it from when we were in LA. We started working on it.
So the dough came from LA.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
right on.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So I'm going to take a bite here.
Right.
And we got a local wine, right?
Yeah, what are we drinking here? Actually,
what was the maitre d's name? I forgot.
Philippe.
Philip. And he's from France?
Correct. He's from France. He's very knowledgeable on wines.
Wow. Tell us about this bottle of wine.
This one's a local wine we got here.
Cabernet.
We're drinking a 2016 Tuscany Cabernet Sauvignon, a nice local cab from we don't know where. I can't read. I can't read where it's from, but
delicious Cabernet.
might be
Perfect for the meal.
Yeah,
Might be
yeah.
from
It's
Paso
so-
Robles, might be from Santa
It's our,
Maria. Who
it,
knows?
it's our most popular one here.
Is it? Okay.
And, you know,
It's
and-
fruity.
Yeah, and it's local.
Yeah, tasty, crisp.
Now, we have some French wine, which is really, really good too as well, and stuff. And that's a little more of the high
Right.
style, but,
Well,
this one's very good for the local.
I can tell you that first of all, this pizza is really outstanding. The pizza had what again on it now?
So it's
Here, talking to the microphone.
so it's basically our meatballs that we make.
Yeah.
It's got red bell peppers,
Right.
Tomato, and then
Right.
a little basil with the mozzarella cheese.
Okay, excellent. And
With the mother dough.
Yeah,
with the mother dough, and it goes very.
Yeah.
And I assume it goes very well with this Tuscany cab that you brought out. I do not drink, and there are some times when I really miss drinking.
Yeah.
And one of those times is having a good glass of red wine with Italian food or a good pizza or a good steak or whatever.
That's me a steak.
And I got to say that I can imagine drinking this cab with this pizza. It would be it seems in my mind, I would imagine that it would be a good pairing.
Good pair. Big
Yeah.
time.
The senses are going off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
the taste, the look, the
Yeah, a lot of
old
Okay.
school. Love
Yeah.
it.
And it's all nothing matches. If you can see the glasses, we don't want to be all conformed to one thing.
Right. You don't want to look like a chain restaurant. You're
But
trying
but
to
it's
say.
cute to have the
Yeah.
brick coming out through the wall with the plaster.
Yeah.
It's I love it.
Well, let's try something else here. We've got what over here again?
So the chicken Alfredo.
This is the chicken Alfredo, and it's got chicken in it.
Yeah, chicken.
So let's get
Wow.
the perfect bite here. There's nothing like a good Alfredo.
So Alfredo sauce is really just cream sauce
Fat.
Cream sauce, yeah.
and butter, right?
Yes, cream.
And
Cream and
what
butter.
else do you guys do that's different?
From the Alfredo.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, basically,
You're talking to the microphone there.
it's basically just the cream sauce. Our chicken is free range chicken, so it makes the difference with the chicken taste. Real tender. And it's just the wife. She makes food made with love.
Right.
You know?
It's important.
That's
It's a blessing, isn't it?
That's the main thing. Is
Yeah,
we
what's-
make things with love here and stuff.
That's beautiful, and the Alfredo's so creamy. And
Garlicky and
once
Very
again, I
garlicky,
can imagine
Yeah.
it with a glass of wine, maybe a good chard or something like
Yeah,
that.
chard or white
Something
wine.
sort of light or whatever. And I unfortunately seem to have given all of my napkins away, and that Alfredo is so good that of course it's all over my mouth now. But
Oh my God, this Alfredo
yeah,
is awesome.
that's really yummy. That's really yummy.
No, we have people that they just come for the Alfredo.
Yeah.
And
I bet.
I've tried them to try something like, no, I want my Alfredo. You know, we can't get them out of there.
I can see why.
That's very good. And with
Yeah.
the little chicken, little
You can
protein in
taste
there.
the garlic in it.
The garlic,
yeah,
it's
it's
very
It's
really good.
fantastic. So let's see. So what else do we have here on the table?
Pesto?
Pesto?
Little pesto.
With
Oh yeah, okay.
ricotta.
That's right. So I'm going to try a little bit of bread.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like
So
a little-
both you and your wife both came from LA.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
originally
yeah.
from LA. Well, my family's from El Salvador. I was born in El Salvador, but I grew up as a kid in LA, so I'm pretty much LA. My wife, she's from Belgium.
Wow,
And then
what a combo.
I know, and then
Wow.
we met in LA while I was working at my work. And we kind of fell in love from the get-go. And
Wow, what a story.
We've been together for a while now and got married, and then the whole, restaurant thing started happening.
So what inspired you to come to Carpinteria, to Santa Claus Lane of all places?
Well, I found the restaurant online. We were looking for businesses at that time.
So Borelli's
And
was for sale.
For sale. It was never, I guess, told to the public out here. It was just
No,
kinda-
I had no idea.
I had no idea
There was
either.
no
yeah.
idea. Nobody, as far as I talked to customers, nobody knew about that it was for sale.
Yeah.
I ran into it. I'm a cyclist. I'm an avid cyclist, so I've cycled through these areas many times. So I knew Carpinteria,
Right.
and so when I seen it, I was like, "Wife, we gotta check this out. Carpinteria is beautiful." We wanted to leave LA, and we set a date to come and check it out, and we fell in love with the place. We saw that it had so much potential and character.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, and
Yeah.
so it's not like your box kind of.
It's very roomy. It's extremely roomy, yeah.
And stuff. So we gave it a chance, and so we're here.
So let me see if I understand. You came straight from LA here, and then just went for it.
Yeah.
The ball's on you, buddy. The
Yeah.
ball's on
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Just
I had to cut a lot of things down there. I had to, but I had to make my transition because I still had a full-time job down
Yeah.
there. So
Bless you, brother.
in the 7
Bless
months,
you.
I was back and forth for 3 months, LA here, working down there, coming back on the weekends, back and forth. I worked 7 days a week for 4 months, non-stop, and then eventually I just was able to quit down there and be here full-time with my wife.
The full American dream right there, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right?
But
Well-
it's a struggle, but we love being
Well,
here.
God bless you. We love our local business people, and I personally love the fact that people are willing to come from so far away.
Yeah.
I mean, LA's not that far, but so far away to come to Carpinteria, and they just see its potential, and they see how beautiful it is.
It is.
And they just want to be part of that scene. And so I applaud you. I encourage everyone to really, help these guys make a go of it.
It's a huge risk.
Because we know
It's a huge risk.
we understand, us locals, that Santa Claus Lane can be kind of a challenging location. I mean, you think that it's right on the highway and there's going to be a lot of people that are stopping.
Correct.
But and there are a number of people that are getting off the freeway or whatever, but it's not like it used to be back when Santa was on the roof.
Right.
And a business like yours is going to rely on local Carpinteria folks coming and patronizing the restaurant and really talking about it and really making it a popular joint. And the places that aren't popular with the locals just aren't successful. So we want the
Yes.
locals to come and sample what it is that you're doing, so you guys can really make a go at it. And the thing is, that's something I should bring up. It's less than it used to be, but you guys are prime location to smell the pot. So is it a big problem out here that people complain about it a lot, or what?
I only hear little complaints here and there.
Yeah,
I've only smelled it once.
right.
Because most of the times I smell my wife's
Right.
cooking.
Yeah.
Right.
So it overpowers that smell.
Right.
It's just once I smell.
Wow,
it,
look at
Okay,
this
so
lasagna.
while you're talking, Philippe here
let's
has
get
brought
Philippe.
us
Philippe.
some what I presume is the lasagna. So why don't you present the lasagna to us right before we taste it? So
And tell us what's in it,
and
please.
tell us all about it. So here's the microphone right over there.
So, well, this is a very traditional lasagna where the main ingredients are, of course, pasta, the lasagna sheet, and you have some grounded meat, it's beef, in between, and as well some parmesan and marinara sauce. Those are basically the key ingredients.
And the bechamel, which is the main ingredient.
What is bechamel? I have no idea what that is.
It's a creamy thing that they make. It's very tedious to make. 'Cause
Yeah, it is, and lovely. So let's give it a try.
You know what I also like about the restaurant, and for people who aren't local, because I'm sure people that aren't local are going to hear this podcast, is the beach. It's like you could have a nice glass of wine, right? Go take a nice stroll to let everything, and then get back in your car and go wherever you need to go. I mean, it's a great location. You got rock stars coming here, right? We got George Lucas, and who else? Who else did you say?
Once again,
But-
talking to the
we
microphone
know
there.
they live around here.
Right.
We've had Ashton Kutcher pop in here with his family.
And what does he order?
Well,
Usually, he's actually had the lasagna.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of salads because they're real, into healthy eating. But the lasagna has always been a popular one for them.
Uh-huh.
So before we'll continue to talk about the celebrities that one might encounter here at Thario's Kitchen, because we are prime time. We are prime time. We're like Malibu of the North. To tell you the
Right.
truth.
Yeah, totally.
But I just want to say I can't contain myself anymore. I just took a bite of this lasagna, and I have to say that if it took any less than 30 minutes, it wouldn't be as good. It is outstanding. It is so creamy, and the bechamel is so
Good.
luxurious and velvety, and it's just cheese.
Oh my
And
God.
So it
Oh
is.
my God.
It is lovely. So I would say that's my number one recommendation
Yeah.
so far of all the stuff that
So
I've
what's
tried.
that cream again? I'm tasting it now. Is
It's
it,
a bechamel. It's a bechamel.
say it slowly, bechamel.
Bechamel, yeah.
Bechamel.
It's
It's
the
French.
main ingredient there.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh my God.
And then we have the bolognese. From the bolognese, we make the lasagna. So
It's lovely. It's lovely. So, yeah, definitely try the lasagna, and maybe you want to share
you
and
have
get
to.
two things, and share the lasagna. The more people try it, the better.
Well, there's an 11-year-old
So-
girl that comes here,
Uh-huh.
and she orders a lasagna, and she can eat the whole. And it's basically a brick. I call it a brick because it's a brick.
It's very
This
filling.
thing is a brick.
Yeah.
And she will eat the whole thing. It's phenomenal. See her eat.
And once again, for the non-miners, it would go really well with a nice red wine, maybe a good Pinot, maybe that cab that we
the
tried
cab,
before. Excellent, excellent. So let's go back to talking about some of the celebs that you might encounter here at Thario's Kitchen, because you've got a whole host of them that live just within a stone's throw of this place. So of course you mentioned Ashton Kutcher and he and his wife Mila Kunis have a place here,
Correct.
and Ellen and Portia
Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen-
she's picked up.
Ellen and Portia just sold their house in Carpinteria, but
They did?
yeah, they did. But they're building another place. I won't say everyone knows where it's at, but I won't bother saying it on the air. But whatever, and it's close by. And they actually, Ellen and Portia had I think it was Ellen's some birthday or some event they actually had at Borello's. They
Correct,
actually
back
had
then.
here
Oh,
at this
really?
location. She tweeted about it. They made them made them a couple bucks probably. Who knows? Oops, I'm sorry about that. So she knows the location well, if not the restaurant. So she's had your food. Of course, George Lucas lives just down the road, and I see him. I mean, George, he's a great guy, but he's the hefty guy, so you might see him out eating somewhere. And I've seen him a number of times in Summerlin, and we see him on Linden Avenue or whatever in Carp, and so I'm sure he'll swing by at some point in time, and check you guys out. And Kevin Costner, as you mentioned. And he lives down the road. He's one of the longest time celebs on Padaro Beach. Yeah, he owned on Padaro Beach way before George and Ellen and Ashton.
Really?
Oh yeah. He's been here.
He's the OG.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. He's been in the area for years and years and years and years and years. So he's one of the ones I think that popularized it with the Hollywood elite. So
And
to
actually,
speak.
that's Kevin Costner, one of my favorite actors. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go crazy if I see him.
Well, he'll probably roll by. I mean, it's so yeah. Padaro Beach. I mean, there's a reason that people hang out around here, and this is it. And so having a nice meal inside or out on the patio, we all know the location because a lot of us ate at Borello's or ate at the barbecue places that were here before, or Santa's Kitchen back in the day, and that sort of thing. So, outstanding. You guys are really doing a great job. And I got to say that, unfortunately, she's not here right now for me to heap this praise on her. Thais has really, she seems to really know what she's doing around the kitchen.
She does. She's a fish in the water in the kitchen.
Tell me a little bit about what her background is and what makes her such a great chef.
Well, she's half Brazilian, half Belgium.
Right.
Her family's always been cooking, and her sister actually just opened a restaurant in Europe over there in Brussels.
Wow.
And so it's
in the family.
It's in the family. And she's pretty much been all over the place. She had a restaurant in Costa Rica.
No way.
Yeah, she had one, and she did some stuff in Miami.
Where in Costa Rica?
I don't know the town. She'll come and she'll give you the name of the town.
Wow.
Then where we met in L.A., she had a restaurant in L.A. And that's kind of like the rent went up on her, and so they couldn't pay the rent.
Yeah.
So the restaurant basically got shut down.
Yeah.
And so she was there for a few years down where Sunset and Hollywood split.
Yep.
kinda right there. So that's where her restaurant was at. And
What was the name of the restaurant back then?
it's called Backyard.
Backyard.
Backyard. And so that was she was there for a little while.
Do you remember the? Sorry to interrupt. The what was it the Rose?
The
was-
Rose.
It was a garlic restaurant. It just
The garlic.
was it the Garlic Rose? I'm probably
something
fucking
like
it
that.
all
Yeah,
up.
something like that.
Yeah,
Garlic Rose. Yeah.
Because it was like right down the street from that
the
one.
Stinking Rose? No, not the Stinking Rose.
Maybe that's what it was. It was a garlic place. It was right there.
That
Sunset.
would be the Stinking Rose one.
That's what it is.
I don't know the restaurant or whatever,
The
but yeah,
Stinking
that
Rose.
the garlic is known as the Stinking Rose, so that makes sense.
But yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
That
restaurants
place was
closing.
packed.
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants closing in LA.
Well,
Really?
Because of rent.
the
Rent is so
restaurant
bad.
business is tough. It's a tough business to be in. I mean, people think, oh, we'll run a restaurant and the celebrities will come and it'll be fabulously famous, and we'll just do lots of business, and then no one shows up.
Yeah.
Well,
And
usually
there's-
people clean their money.
There's a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk in owning a restaurant. And people don't appreciate that. But we've all seen restaurants, whether it's here on Santa Claus Lane or in Carpinteria or Santa Barbara or anywhere else in the world, basically,
Correct.
come and go. And some stay, a few stay, but most of them, it seem like 75% of them, just
Correct.
go
Yeah.
or linger for a while or whatever. So it's a tough.
I see it on State in Santa Barbara. I mean, some of the restaurants that, 'cause like I said, I've traveled through these areas, and I remember seeing more restaurants on State. And this year that we've been here, I've gone down there. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of places closing.
And when you don't own the property, when you've got a lease and you've got rent to pay, it can make it tough, And you gotta put people in the seats to pay the rent.
Correct.
And the profit margins can be relatively thin for a
totally.
restaurant.
Is this the original owner of this place, or who's the owner of it?
So the original owner is Dr. Kent. He's amazing, really, really nice gentleman. So he owns basically from the end of Santa Claus Lane all the way to the surf shop.
Yeah.
And so, he owns the whole area.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully he's a good landlord, and
He is.
certainly, and it makes sense for him to, be a good landlord, because you want to keep people in the buildings.
Yeah, and
so
he's been very, very supportive with us and stuff. So that's been really, really helpful. And
Wow.
stuff. And then also all the neighbors have been really supportive with us.
Well,
and
I've
stuff.
seen a real transformation in Santa Claus Lane over the last few years, because it's had some time. It's had some difficulty reestablishing its identity a little bit, I think.
And I think it's looking for that identity.
Because we had Santa, and it was just Santa's train was here, and the toy store was here, and and it was so Santa-y. And then he was gone. And then one day we woke up and he was gone. He was in Oxnard.
It's in the memories of people's lives.
It is,
yeah.
and we all fondly remember Santa Claus Lane, but it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And we're
Correct.
having a hard time, I think, as Carpinterians, dealing with the fact that it's becoming Padaro Beach and less Santa Claus Lane. And I am of the firm belief that it's only a matter of time before they actually change the name of this end of the road to become part of Padaro Lane, and they just drop the Santa Claus moniker altogether. Because it doesn't, when Santa's not on the roof, but we kind of have an identity crisis a little bit with Santa Claus Lane.
Well,
but,
we're trying to keep at least the tradition of this restaurant going. Bring good food.
Well,
Smart.
one
Very smart.
thing, talking about Christmas and Santa Claus and Santa and everything else, and unfortunately, this is a podcast, so time doesn't really matter. And I'm sure, unfortunately, most of the people who actually, both of the people that will listen to this podcast will probably wait until after the first of the year to tune in, so it'll already have happened. But for those of you who might be hearing it within the relatively near future, you guys are doing something fun with this Christmas tree that you've got set up here in the restaurant, and you've got it really highly decorated, and it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
And tell me, but it's got a kind of a promotional thing happening here. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing with this Christmas tree to sort of attract the locals to come by, say hi, and take a look at what it is that you're doing here.
So the tree actually came from the Boy Scouts down there. So it's local tree
Right.
right here. It's a 10-footer.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And then the decorations were all donated it's been borrowed from one of our customers, which is customer friends now. We're very, very good friends.
Very nice.
And so
good way to get a free meal out of the place.
And so we decorated it on Tuesday. It took us almost 5 hours to put it together.
Yeah, it's a job in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. It was, we were finding all the little spots to cover it in. And, initially it was just going to be, the tree. But then the more we thought about it, we said, why don't we do a little competition,
Right,
see if
okay.
anybody can guess how many ornaments there are in the tree.
So you're asking that, locals come by, stop by the place, and guess how many ornaments you've counted. You counted them when you put them on, so it's a known quantity. So you're asking customers to come by and guess how many ornaments are on the tree, and so so then at some point it's what, January 7th?
Yeah, it'll be on a Tuesday.
You're going to reveal.
We're going to reveal
how many ornaments were on, and so the person that comes the closest gets what?
It's going to win a $100 gift certificate
To the restaurant.
To the restaurant.
Oh,
And
wow.
So we already have, I don't know how many entries. There's a little box on there where everybody's putting their
That's
number.
so smart. I love
Yeah.
that. Such a good idea.
I even had a little kid come in with his little calculator and try to
no
calculate.
way,
Yeah, he would
really?
try to calculate the numbers and stuff. You know.
That's
What I
cool.
liked about it was that somebody local that came in and brought you the ornaments.
Yeah.
You're getting so localized.
Yeah, you know.
Straight from LA and here is.
Yeah,
I love this place.
You know,
That's what I
it's
love
connect.
about
Yeah,
Carp.
we try to connect. You know, stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, it's all about being family here.
Yeah.
You know, being family and stuff like that. But you guys, if you really go close to the tree, you'll see some ornaments that are really specific. It's really nice tree. But
And it's beautiful, and unfortunately, that, like I said, probably a lot of the folks that hear this will come by, and by the time that they hear it, the tree will be gone. But there's always next year, I suppose.
yeah.
So,
well, hopefully we'll make it a tradition.
well, I
of
was going to
that.
say maybe we've got ourselves a new holiday tradition in that
on Santa Claus Lane.
exactly
Yeah.
on Santa Claus
Right.
Lane you come by
Gotta come.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So we're helping the Thario's Kitchen is helping to carry forward the tradition of Santa Claus Lane, and it's in its own way. So I love that. That's awesome.
When's your busiest time?
Our busiest time is usually more in the evening time.
Yeah.
We're still a little slow during lunchtime.
Uh-huh.
Of course, Friday, Saturdays are our most busiest.
Friday,
days.
Saturday.
Saturdays and more
So the
busiest.
evening. So sometime after 6, everybody's here.
Yeah, like after 5, it starts. You know, we start
Right.
getting people in. And
Till
stuff,
what
and,
time? Till midnight?
Well, we close on Fridays and Saturdays. We close till 9. Sundays we close till 8. And during the week 8:30.
And one thing you'll find is that, and this is just my own personal opinion. Obviously, it's not based on any intellect coming from me. But you'll find that the more you get involved with the local community, the better. And we talked about that a little bit before. I mean, there's a certain number of people who stop by Santa Claus Lane just because they're coming by on the freeway.
Correct.
But most of the business is going to come from, Linden Avenue. It's going to come from downtown Carpinteria and take the quote unquote long drive out to Santa Claus Lane. You actually have to get on the freeway maybe, and come around,
Correct.
And so getting involved with our local organizations, our local events and that sort of thing, you'll find goes a long way.
Correct.
And so I think that, I don't know whose idea, I have a feeling it was your wife's, being a married man myself, but I don't know whose idea was to do the thing with the tree. I think it's a really smart thing to
Very
try
smart. That was
Yeah,
such a
thank
good
you.
idea.
to
yeah.
try to engage the locals in just a small way to sort of get your name out there is really, really smart. You've got your tree. People can come by and see
Yeah.
it if they hear the podcast before
Totally.
Christmas. And
Totally.
Christmas
Well,
is coming.
I'm planning to put an ad on the Coastal View regarding the tree.
Ah.
So that'll come out and stuff, And it's when I got here, that was the first thing I ran into was Coastal View, and I was like, with my wife, I was like, this paper is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so connected with the community.
Yes.
I love the whole pitchforks and halos and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just-
That's the first thing I always look for.
Just a few weeks ago, actually, in the previous episode of this podcast, we interviewed Gary Dobbins, who's the publisher, the co-publisher of the paper, among other things, and we talked a lot about them. And we love the Coastal View because it's such a unique small town.
Correct.
People here in town still read it, and it's still not.
Yeah, I
it's
see
not.
people reading it all the
Yeah.
time.
It's not dying on the vine so
No.
much like other papers. It just seems to signify our community. So definitely get involved with the Coastal View.
Totally. And we were
help get the word out.
Initially, we were gonna already start advertising through the Coastal View, but when we decided we were gonna change the name, we put a hold on it and waited till we changed the name, and so now Thario's Kitchen will be be put on the paper and
Right.
stuff.
Well, what fun! That's it's really exciting. We should just check in on you, like. I don't know if this would be appropriate or not, but we should just make sure we check in every few months, during your first year of business, and see how it's
Totally.
going, and
Totally.
check in to see watch watch the growth of Thario's kitchen, you know, here, because it's tremendously exciting. You know, it really, really is.
Tell us more about the menu, what you got here.
The menu?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, tell us all about the menu.
Because we
top to
right now
bottom.
we had pizza, we had lasagna, we had salad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a small menu. Originally, when we took over Borello's, we were gonna take on their menu. But it was like 100 items and stuff, and how do you keep everything fresh?
Yeah.
So my wife, she already had her own menu, and we wanted to keep it simple,
Sure.
fresh.
It's smart.
Nothing
It's
sitting
very
around,
smart.
Nothing sits around. Everything we make is from
Nice.
made from the order.
One of the things, and I'm certainly no expert because what the hell do I know about restaurants? Restaurants that become bloated when they keep adding to the menu and they add something and they add something and they add something and all of a
gets
sudden
confusing.
now the menu is like 4 pages, 5 pages
Yeah.
long, and it's like you're going to a Denny's or something, and it's better to just concentrate on doing less things really well.
Correct.
You know, and
Now-
so kudos for you trying to trim that down.
Correct.
Because the thing with Borello's, and you may not realize this, though you're taking over the business, so you probably do. But the family who was running Borello's has a long history in Carpinteria because they operated Tony's Pizza, which was a landmark in downtown Carpinteria
I didn't know that.
for decades. They were there. And finally, I mean, I don't really know what happened exactly, but I can only speculate that, you know, just the economy, and it was tough. You know, it was a tough location, and less people, you know, were out and spending money with them. And so they finally decided, after many, many years, they had to let that location go. And so they moved out here to Santa Claus Lane. And they did a good job of it. But a lot of the things that they had at Tony's Pizza, and the menu at Tony's Pizza was just ridiculous. I mean, they had pizza, they had pasta, they had sandwiches, they had burgers, they actually made some of the best ribs around. They were phenomenal ribs at what's supposed to be a pizza place, you know. So they just the menu got really bloated, and they tried to it seems to me, I don't really know for sure, but it seems to me they tried to preserve as much of that as they possibly could when they moved here. And so there was still a lot of like extra weight on the menu that could have been lost. And gotta love the ribs.
Yeah.
I loved them, but did they really belong on the menu? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You wanted to keep it traditional and stuff.
Exactly.
Now we do have many more plates that we want to offer. So what we do is once a week or every few days, my wife will do a special of the day.
All right, yeah.
So she'll bring
Yeah.
extra plates so that they don't go on the menu, but it's
Right.
something to add to the spice to the plate.
And most of your successful, you know, restaurants use that model where they'll throw something out on a special, see how it does. They get a good price on the protein or whatever reason that they do for doing the special.
Correct.
And then occasionally something will kind of catch on, and people will request that something come back on special or whatever, and then you decide, well, maybe we should add that to the menu.
Correct.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
think about it. But you know, you should be slow about that. It's like, well, people really like that whatever burger that we used to make, and so let's add it to the menu. It's like, well,
Yeah, there's stuff like it's not on the menu that are,
What's not in the menu?
you know, like certain things that are not on the menu.
Those specials, right.
Specials.
Right.
And so, you know, it might not be on that special for that week, but we'll have a customer come
Exactly.
in and say, "Oh, you guys had this one
Right,
plate,
right,
you know, last
right,
week, and
right.
and we can still do it." You know,
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's no problem.
Well,
If they remember what it is.
That's
we can
one of
always
the
do it.
advantages of being a local, is that, you know, you can kind of request, okay, you don't have it on special tonight, but you guys really made this such and such, such and such a few weeks ago, and I really liked it. And so provided that, you know, you maybe have that protein or whatever that you need, you have what you need to make it.
Correct.
Obviously, the chef, who is in this case your wife, knows how to make it. You have the stuff to make it.
Yeah.
Why can't you just make it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we definitely can.
You
make
know?
it. Yeah.
So there you go.
I like the veggie, and you got both on here, veggie pizzas and meat lovers pizzas. And I love how you separate it because you know there's
Right.
duality there.
Correct.
You know how you got people that love their veggies, and then you got people that really want. I love it. Good setup.
Yeah, and we cater to vegetarians. We have a few vegan options as well.
We do?
Yeah,
Okay.
We do. We have
Wait,
a
for the
pizza.
salads,
We
yeah.
have a pizza, the vegetali,
Uh-huh.
which is straight there's no cheese on it, so it's straight vegan.
Right,
vegan
right,
pizza.
right.
And so the
Which will come in handy.
yeah, the only thing we don't have gluten-free pizza, but we do have gluten-free pastas.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
So
Very good.
that's always an option. People will ask for a gluten-free.
There,
you
and
know,
more and
options.
more people all the time are going for gluten free.
Yeah,
Let me take a look at this menu here.
And then
The coffee's phenomenal, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Felipe just gave me a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I'd love some coffee, but
I'll bring you some coffee.
yeah, coffee is the nectar of the gods.
And then eventually we're thinking about doing a brunch weekends. Saturday
Well,
and
that might be
Sundays,
fun.
you know,
That might
so.
be a lot of fun. You know, and
Especially during the summer times.
Yeah, and because I see a lot of cyclists and they want to do a little breakfast kind of brunch thing. So I
Right.
figure, you know what, maybe we can provide.
That's when the
that.
cyclists come in. Hi.
Yeah, I'm gonna start bringing them in. I also do. I don't know if I said I do Japanese calligraphy.
You do what? I'm sorry.
oh, Japanese calligraphy,
Yeah, I do
really?
Japanese calligraphy.
Wow.
So
I had no idea. So you have some of your art on the walls right now, or
I have some-
there it
I
is.
have one in there, and then I have a portfolio of stuff that I usually will let clients check it out.
Really?
How beautiful.
I want to get one on my neck.
Yeah.
Is there something you can do?
Well,
like, can you say like "fuck you"? Like,
If
on,
you know the character, I can work the character.
You know,
He's got to bring.
it's
it
so
out to the
funny.
tattoo.
It would probably be a good idea. And this is kind of an off the cuff subject. It'd be a good idea to go and have somebody that you know and trust, and who will see you again after you get the tattoo, do like the calligraphy for the tattoo, so that you know that it says what you think it says. Because there's so many examples of people who think that they've got the Chinese character for inspiration on their back, and it says, and it actually says Kung Fu Chicken, or whatever.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
well, what made you get into that? So curious.
I'm actually avid martial artist. So
Are you?
What do you practice?
So I did. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo.
Taekwondo.
I
Okay.
did a little bit of Aikido, Judo,
Very good.
and a little bit of Kempo karate.
Uh-huh.
So I did martial arts for a good over 20 years.
Wow.
And then my teachers eventually, retired, and so I was kind of on my own for a little while.
It's a good
And,
discipline.
Yeah, and
It's a very
but
good
I've always
discipline.
been into the whole. I've been fascinated with the Bushido, samurai.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
yeah.
And I know they were calligraphers, and so I started looking into.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I started looking into calligraphy, and I ran into a teacher down in Santa Monica.
Right.
And I've been with her for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
Wow.
you're like the devotee then. And
Yeah.
there's a certain.
Isn't that cool?
I mean, I don't really know what I'm talking about exactly, but seems to me like there's a certain zen that comes with the practice of the art of calligraphy
Yeah.
that seems to be in harmony with martial arts.
Meditative, right? It's
And
meditative.
It's like
yeah.
It's very meditative
It
to
helps
do
to
calligraphy.
focus. I mean, it seems to me it helps to focus the mind, and it's beautiful to boot.
Yeah.
So you've got something you can sell at the swap meet for $10 too.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do eventually, what I'm planning to do is teach classes down on my patio.
Oh, really?
So that's going to be one of the things that eventually
Calligraphy class.
That
Yeah.
is
Wow.
that's a really outstanding idea.
Yeah.
So it's a real Zen thing, we'll do it in the mornings kind of thing, and it's something
I love Japanese art.
Yeah, right now I'm putting it
love. It's
together.
very simple, very clean.
Yeah, and it's very calm. So it's
Right.
and so we're gonna eventually
Wow.
do that.
Well, if you guys ever do that, you make sure you let us know at World Saves Beach, and we'll
Yeah.
help promote the fact that you guys are doing it, because
Totally.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
know what? It might be. I mean, it would be good for adults to do. I mean, as you learn the skill as an adult, yes.
Correct.
So adults, you're never too old to learn how to
Oh,
do
no,
calligraphy.
totally.
But it would also be something to do with your kids or your grandkids.
Yeah, yeah,
And
totally.
get them when they're young. So you're willing to deal with someone who's like 5
Oh, yeah,
or 6 or
totally,
8 or more.
totally. Yeah, I mean,
obviously they have to be able to use the
Manipulate the brush and
use the
stuff.
brush and stuff. So there's a certain
Oh, no, when
certain age that you probably shouldn't bring them in before. But yeah,
Yeah.
if they're 8 years old, you should bring them in.
Yeah, it's all about basically working the basic strokes. From the basic strokes, you go to start doing. What we do is haiku poetry. So that we do a poem, and we change it in different styles. So there's like 4 different styles in Japanese calligraphy, which is called shoto. Shoto is the main art. And from there, you basically do the poems, and as you get better and better, your strokes will eventually get better. And it's all about sizing it on the paper, and it's very it takes a little while. It took me a good 4 or 5 years to eventually get.
But I love your
some kind-
discipline. I love your
Yeah.
bicyclist. It's people that have that discipline that can create businesses like that, and the balls. And because if you weren't disciplined, you'd be insecure about everything that you do.
Correct.
So it's just really
Yeah,
cool
well,
to hear all
you
that.
you take my word for it. You are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm remarkable. See, that's the difference I'm learning actually, and that part of the joy of doing this show is that not only does it give me the opportunity to meet local folks like you,
Like you,
Mario,
yeah.
because
Fascinating.
that it gives me well, first of all, it gives me a reason to come in and eat your food for free. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? As a longtime radio guy, I learned at an early time to never turn down free food.
Yes.
You know, so
Especially this food. Jeez.
so it gives you a reason to want to feed me. So that's beautiful. But also, I get to learn a little bit about this guy Amboy, because Amboy and I was discussing before we started the show. Our first episode of this podcast was Amboy and I meeting in person for the first time ever. So we don't really know each other. We're just kind of discovering.
Every day you're learning more about each other.
Yeah. And so far, now this by the time you hear this, it may be different. But as of today,
Pessimist, huh?
as of today, Amboy and I have been getting along remarkably well. I mean, you throw two people in a box and they may or may not get along. You never know, you know. And so far, I mean, you know, we haven't spent the evening together or whatever. We've just gotten together a few times, but I really like this guy, and so part of it is discovering who he is, and what his relationship is with the world as opposed to mine. And one thing I'm discovering is that we're two very different people, but not in necessarily a bad way. You're very, like, you got a lot of willpower. You seem to have a lot of like you're very serious about the way that you live your life. And I'm really not. I'm like more like
Nomadic.
I'm more like I do things.
And I love him for it.
More by the seat of my pants
Yeah,
than anything else, you know. And I just kind of let things happen and see how it all works out. And I get the impression that Amboy's not that way at all. He's much more organized than I am. He's much more disciplined than I am.
Which is perfect for a podcast.
Yeah.
Interviewing people fascinating like you.
Yeah.
We did Sasa. We did Dawson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just, and it's really interesting to find out how many fascinating.
So for
I'm sorry.
For those of you who are listening to the podcast, just know that you're taking that ride along with us, and I am personally trying to be very genuine about that and learning about the Amboy, and then the people like you, Mario, who want to be on the show. It's all part of the learning process, and I just want to point out how cool I think that is.
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
And how unusual. That's why I'm doing this show kind of this way. I'm kind of doing it by the seat of my pants because, and I've explained this before in the show, I did radio for so long where they set up the programming and the procedure and the format and the things that you can say and the things that you can't say and everything. That's all set up at a time, and you kind of plan and you organize and you do it, and you have the first segment has to be X number of minutes long, and then the break is X number of minutes, and then segment 2 you're going to talk about this, and this is going to be the focus, and then you're going to take a break at this time.
Right.
Don't be early, don't be late.
You got to pay the bills.
right. Yeah.
And with this, it's who cares?
Right.
We just turn the microphone on and we just talk, and whatever comes out of our mouths, comes out. And I get that Amboy is not at all comfortable with that.
No, I love it. Are you kidding me? You can throw me in the middle of Hong Kong and I'll figure it out, buddy. I'm going to have a blast doing it.
Good.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's mercenary thinking.
It's been a real adventure for me, but.
I really want to get your wife here.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
I was going to say
we're running out of time.
The thing is that we're only running out of time. Fortunately for me, we're only limited by people's attention span.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And we've been talking for about, let's see, what time is it now?
And we really need to get her here.
We've been talking for
she's
about...
the core of it.
We've been talking about 45, 50 minutes or so. So we should probably wrap it up in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. But it's not like the clock is ticking and we have, the show ends in 12 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever. It's however long it is. But I definitely want to talk to your wife.
Yeah.
Though
There she comes.
Look at
she's
her.
been so hard at work.
Fantastic.
She's been so hard at work. So
Wow.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a little live radio engineering here. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to move things around.
Oh my
And,
God, so much food over here.
actually, we're just going to create a little space in front of you. And I'm going to give you this microphone here.
Here. I'll take that.
Just speak into that microphone there. It's not very sensitive, so you kind of have to.
So I got some quick questions for you. So Mario told me you guys were doing stuff in Costa Rica.
Oh, she was doing.
Because we lived in Costa Rica, so that's why.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I was in Playa del Coco.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, Southern Liberia.
Yeah.
Well, so first, before we go any further, let's introduce our new guest.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Yeah.
Thais, who's Mario's wife, and she's the chef
chef.
here at the
I
restaurant.
am.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
You got a great voice for this.
Yeah.
Scratchy.
I like the
yeah,
accent.
Yeah, the accent. This is fabulous.
Broken Frenchy accent. I'm from Belgium. So.
And when you were concerned when we spoke on the phone, I'm just rather than speak right into a microphone, I'm going to just be very loud. Excuse me. But when we spoke on Facebook before, you were concerned that people would be thrown off by your Belgian accent and you shouldn't really be on the show, maybe. And I thought, no, it's not.
No, it's fantastic.
And hearing your voice and hearing
It's a great delivery.
it's
Perfect. It's
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Love it.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
So tell us about Costa Rica. Playa
I
del
was born
Coco?
in Belgium. My
Uh-huh.
father is from southern part of Belgium. My
Uh-huh.
mom, she's from southern Brazil.
Uh-huh.
And I used to work in near the European community in Brussels, which is full of Italian and full of very, very good food. So that's why I started with Italians in Brussels.
Uh-huh.
And then I moved in Miami to work also for Italians. And then from there, I opened a restaurant in Costa Rica to see a little bit where the world is and to enjoy
Right.
other culture.
Right.
And
It's rough, Costa Rica, isn't it?
it is.
They're a
It
little
was
they're a little
dirt
slow,
road,
right? Yeah.
Super slow. So that's why I was like, okay, after 3 years, I was like, no.
You
maybe
got burned
not.
out? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
live by the jungle and all those fruits and the
Now,
monkeys.
did you go through any formal education for your culinary training, or was it just all on-the-job training?
On the job,
Yeah.
watching and tasting.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a chef who went through the same school of
Yeah, I
just
think it was-
working in restaurants and learning from great chefs.
Exactly.
And it can be
Thank you.
it can be really valuable. And yes, we've sampled some pizza, we've sampled some lasagna.
Wine, we had lasagna, salad. Thank you. It's just fabulous.
And
Glad
it's
you
just
enjoyed.
phenomenal, just phenomenal.
The menu's good. It's very simplified.
Yeah, we want to stick
can-
to the basics after I play a little bit on the board with the specials, and I'm going to introduce maybe some Brazilian dish here and there.
Yeah. Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
some Belgian leek and broth.
Tell me about a Brazilian dish.
Well, we do a lot of black beans with a slow cooked pork and
Yeah.
beef,
So good.
Yeah.
And Mario introduced me to the oxtail, so I did a mix. And this is going to be there very soon. Oxtail and black beans too, for example.
Love it. Love it.
Well, we really hope that you guys, both of you, have all the success that you possibly can
Thank
here at
you.
Santa Claus Lane. And I was so happy that you reached out to me at first, and then Amboy and I discussed it, and we were able to come out and sample some of the food and talk about the history of the building and your plans for the future. And it's exciting that you guys are newbies here, because I kind of want to keep track of how your first year goes. Let's maybe check in with you every few months or so to see both how the business is going, and also how do you like Carpinteria? You live here in town. You live close
love
by,
it.
right? See,
Such a
so I
beautiful
want to
community.
find out all about that, and I want to keep track of your first year here in business, because I really hope the best for Thario's Kitchen and for you, and really hope that you love Carpinteria, and that we come to love you as much as you would love us.
Oh, we love Carpinteria.
We do. Everybody's so supportive.
Yes, super.
Well, listen, it's been about an hour, I guess.
Oh my God.
I'm checking my watch, and it's been a long time. So I suppose we should wrap things up.
Yep.
And we'll just and what it'll do is it'll give me a chance to focus on finishing up all of this great food that's at the table, and I can forget about doing this little show for the two people who are listening to it. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
so
Well,
much.
thanks for having us out, folks.
you.
And Amboy, it was awesome to see you. And I'm looking forward to finishing this meal and getting some time to chill out
Yeah.
here at Santa Claus Lane.
Enjoy it.
And we'll get together next time. The inspiration moves us to do another podcast.
Yes.
The world's safest beach.